In endless depths Goliaths roam, beneath the waves and crashing foam. Hunt them down, remove their eyes, for this is where their power lies. A great machine lies deep in wait, awaken it to seal your fate. Welcome to Silt. When I first saw ads for Silt, I was really excited for this game. It reminded me vaguely of games like Limbo and Little Nightmares with an aquatic twist and Mario Odyssey captures. However, after playing through the game, I found myself wanting more, and not really in a good way. Rather than feeling eerie and suspenseful, the game felt empty and stagnant. There were many times in the game you're just swimming and swimming and swimming for seemingly no reason. Rather than feeling suspenseful, it felt like a chore. I probably spent 30 minutes of the game just mindlessly swimming to my next destination, which wouldn't be too bad if my total playtime wasn't 2 hours, and that includes gathering all the collectibles. For a game whose base price is $15, I feel like I should get more playtime than 2 hours, especially when a significant piece of that time is moving from point A to point B. I don't necessarily think that having 2 hours of gameplay is a bad thing. Titles like Portal 1 and Pony Island don't have very long playtimes at all, but every minute is packed with content that keeps you engaged and interested. And I think this is where Silt misses the mark. Rather than keeping my attention, there were many times I was just holding the left stick until I got to my next puzzle. And I think adding things like chase scenes or other spooky elements could have really gone a long way for player engagement to break up the monotony. Another thing I think could have helped the tone is a clearer story. For instance, between levels, you swim through this giant machine filled with cryptic statues of horned figures and divers, but it's pretty much the same room every time you swim through it. I think adding more details here, like details about the bosses, more statues of the horned figures doing various things, can get the player asking questions like, am I really the good guy here? What's going on? What does this machine do? And that can help fill in some of that dead space. But then again, this might just be me completely missing the story, so take this opinion with a grain of salt. Moving on to other parts of the gameplay, I think the crab was about the only good boss in the game. His puzzle was fun and his design was cool, and I really enjoyed fighting him. However, all the other bosses had either underwhelming or confusing puzzles. For example, to kill the tree kraken, you're supposed to possess the fish, swim into the poison cloud, and get eaten by the kraken. However, the kraken showed no indication you were actually doing damage. For a while I thought I was just completely doing it wrong, and ended up accidentally killing myself and restarting the fight. Only after I force-fed it like 50 fish did it finally die. Other than the boss fights and the dead time, however, the puzzles themselves were pretty good. Using the captures as sacrifices was an interesting concept, and I have to say the stingray was really fun since its dash had no cooldown. I do wish there were more unique captures though. There's only like 10 and 3 of them just kind of swim around most of the time. So I think it'd be cool to have stuff like a squid instead of the barracuda that could dash rather than just swimming faster than the person. My last gripe I have about this game is that it sometimes just didn't work. Like in this clip, where I'm in the middle of a cutscene and die to an enemy off screen that I can't do anything about. The first boss, you're supposed to drop this rock and get him to eat it to get the second hit off. But multiple times I tried to goad it into eating it and it either would not care or just not hit the rock. Overall, I think this game just needed a bit more time to cook. Between the glitches and the short playtime, I think it would have benefited a lot from a little more TLC. It wasn't bad, necessarily. The puzzles were good and some sections were fun, but the game was still very mid. Ultimately, I'll give it like a C-. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching.